What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. You're watching Nwadei MMA, where I give you my thoughts, but more importantly ask for you guys' thoughts, because you guys are the MMA community. And I know I haven't dropped a video in about 17 days. It's been 17 days since I've dropped a video. God damn, what have y'all been doing without me? Have y'all been just stuck watching everyone else's breakdowns and reactions? I'm sorry. No, but seriously, guys, I do want to apologize for not posting in a while. I was just getting ready for my fight. I was locked in. I fought on Sunday, which was October 6th, for Fury Fighting Championship. So if you guys want to go check that out, it was Fury FC 97 where I fought. And so I was just very dialed in and focused, and I wasn't recording anything. I didn't even record my reaction to UFC 307, which we're gonna get into today, because that was an absolutely crazy main event and a very interesting card as well. So yeah, I just wanted you guys to know I didn't quit YouTube or anything. We're still here. We're still doing it. As you can tell, I still got my fight braids in. As far as my fight, just to give you guys a little recap, because you guys are a part of the family. We did well. We implemented some things that we wanted to get better at, and some experiences we wanted to take away from there, me and my team. And there should be a little bit of footage coming out shortly about my fight and everything, like my mindset and stuff going into it and things like that, just for you guys who are interested. So let me know in the comment section below if y'all want to see more things about my actual fighting career and upcoming fights and things like that as well, because I'll be more than happy to share that with you guys. But I know some of you guys are just here for the breakdowns or here just to hear the MMA storyline, and I'm all here for it. So let me know what you guys want. But with that being said, UFC 307 was, man, this was a huge event. This was like monumental, as far as that this was Alex Pereira's third fight in what, 7 months? I mean, that is ridiculous. It's crazy for a champion to fight 3 times in a year. That's considered a very active champion, and to fight 3 times within 7 months, I mean, nobody's really doing this. The last champions to really put this kind of activity forward was Israel Adesanya and maybe like an Alexander Volkanovski, and even they were getting what, 4 title fights in a year. He's on track to doing just that, and not only is he doing that healthy, but he's doing it unhealthy. I mean, we heard afterwards that he was coming into this fight being sick, taking antibiotics. He had like torn ligaments in his foot back from UFC 300, and man, he was going through some shit. Almost didn't make it to the fight. We almost had to watch Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena for the main event. That would have sucked, even given the fact that it was a good fight. We'll get into it. But man, Pereira once again saves the day, and holy shit, man. Going into this fight, nobody really was giving Khalil Rountree a chance because of everything he was saying. He was saying he's going to stand with the 2-time Glory kickboxing champion, or 2-weight, whatever you want to say, and that he had no plans of taking it down to the ground, and that he's never had a takedown in his career, and he's not going to start now. And what turns out, people were right to be counting him out. Not to say that he didn't put on a very impressive performance, because he did. He fucking won the first 2 rounds. He put Pereira on his ass. He dropped him. He rocked him. He hurt him bad. Worse than probably anyone really thought he was going to hurt him. And at the end of the day, it was just too little too early for Khalil Rountree. This is why everyone thought that he wouldn't win, though. Because how are you going to try and stand with someone who's been doing this shit since he was 10 years old, man? He's been kickboxing or training kickboxing since he was 10 years old. Not to say that these aren't 2 giants and they couldn't both knock each other out. I mean, we saw that Pereira got dropped in there. He got rocked. He got hurt. But it's just, man, you saw the difference in IQ and in just years in the game in that 4th round. I think that's really what played forward. Now, if Khalil Rountree would have had the idea that maybe I'm going to implement some takedowns, I think a lot more people would have picked him. I probably still would have picked Pereira, but either way, the fact of the matter is that it's MMA. You have to implement takedowns. Even if you don't use them yourself, you have to be thinking about them all the time. If you're not, and you're just you're just limiting yourself, man. If you're just playing into one person's game, one person's facet, you're just limiting yourself. And so, right off the bat, Pereira comes out with that front kick to the face to where Khalil catches it and then lets it go because of his ego and that he wasn't gonna take him down. That right there could have been a takedown right off the bat, and that would not have been good for Pereira. You can't say it would have been good for Pereira to get taken out right there. I mean, it's just not where he wants to be. So, given that fact, Khalil put on an amazing fight. We all knew it was going to be a barn burner, right? We all knew that it was going to be fucking exciting, a striking war. And he gave us everything that we just asked for. And to be honest, it seems like he was compensated too. I'm looking at the fight purses, and Pereira seems to have made close to $3 million guaranteed from that fight. Or is that with pay-per-view? I'm pretty sure that's guaranteed. Raquel Pennington made $1.4 million. Khalil Rountree's estimated to have made $1.4 million as well. Pena made $1 million. Like, the people in the title fights, they got taken care of, and Khalil Rountree got compensated for that brutal finish. Now let's talk about Alex Pereira. He had a slow first couple rounds. He was kind of chopping at the legs. But to give him credit, I mean, it's a 5-round fight. You know Khalil hasn't gone 5 rounds before. And Khalil was using so much energy early on. I mean, you could see it. He was putting everything into his shots, that he was trying to take that man out of there. I think Khalil had it in his mind that one thing he didn't want to do is start slow against Alex Pereira. And it was probably the right decision, give him credit. But Pereira saw that he was using all that energy, and he just decided, let's play it slow. He used his IQ. He chipped at the legs. He threw a bunch of teep kicks to the body, which was taking some of the gas out of Khalil Rountree. He got hurt a couple times, recovered well though. He ended up swelling up Khalil's eye, and then in that 4th round, bro, that's a mythical fighter. 4th round, Alex Pereira, that's demon time. Like, that's where Poatan fucking comes out. I mean, he looked fresh. He looked like he just got into the fucking fight. He looked like that was the first round. That 4th round. It's something about the 4th round with Alex Pereira. I mean, 4th round against Izzy, 4th round against Khalil Rountree, and nobody else really made it that far, but there's something about him. That second win of Alex Pereira is fucking ridiculous, and he looked like he was just hitting mitts. You can't lie and tell me that when you see Alex Pereira hitting mitts, it didn't look like when he just hunted down Khalil Rountree. And hunted is the right word. I think Yuri Prohashka said it best afterwards. He said that was a beautiful hunt, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, dude, he was rolling with all the shots Khalil was throwing. At that point in time, Khalil was just throwing one shot at a time, which you're not going to knock out Alex Pereira doing that. You got to put together some combinations. But yeah, and so he would just use 1-2, roll, left hook, body, just digging the knees in, just constant pressure. And geez, that was a brutal fight. Shout out to Khalil Rountree for going out on his shield, staying true to his word that he wasn't going to shoot a takedown. I mean, he won a lot of people over. There's going to be a lot more fans of him. If you weren't a fan before, I mean, I don't know how you could really hate that guy. But afterwards, Dana was asked if Alex Pereira could be compared to Anderson Silva, or where he was on like the GOAT list. I don't think Alex Pereira got into this sport to be considered the GOAT. I don't think he got into, I don't think anyone who gets into the sport at age 34 isn't going to be considered the greatest of all time. I think it takes a lot of time and a lot of years in the game in order to be considered that, just based off of some of the accolades you need. But at the end of the day, it's all subjective, and to some people, he's gonna be their GOAT. He's gonna be their greatest of all time. I mean, Khabib had 2 title defenses, and he's considered a lot of people's GOAT. But we have to understand something. Now, he is tied with Daniel Cormier for title defenses at light heavyweight. Not title fights, because Daniel lost his belt and had to win it back and things like that. But title defenses, he's tied. He's tied with Khabib for title defenses consecutively. Khabib was different though. Khabib didn't lose a round. It is different, right? He maybe lost a round to Gaethje, maybe to Conor, but these are rounds, and both of those fights he ended up finishing. You understand the difference? That's just the dominance of Khabib. That's why. You can't really compare them, right? Now Poatan, he's been doing it in his own unique way. He's been destroying people, man. Given the fact that he had a fast track to the title, he beat Israel Adesanya again, 4th round. He lost his belt and went up a weight class to where he defeated a former champion, Jan Blachowicz. He beat Yuri Prochazka, he beat Jamal Hill, he beat Yuri Prochazka again, and now defeated Khalil Rountree. Now, keep in mind, this still isn't, I'm just gonna be honest, the quality of his opponents still isn't up to where Anderson Silva's qualities were. It wasn't. Same thing with Khabib. I think Khabib beat some better people than Pereira has been fighting, other than Israel Adesanya. Everyone else, they were champions, but they didn't have any title defenses. All of them kind of, I don't want to say got fast-tracked there, but think about the light heavyweight division a few years back before Alex Pereira got there. It was kind of a dead zone, right? It was a dead division. Nobody really saw much talent there. And then Jan won the belt, and Izzy went over there, and then it started to kind of get some hype with Jan, and then it's just been back and forth between all those contenders. Now, he has staked claim to this division. It is his division, and he is a dominant force in that division. And given the fact he just stays in that division, I'm sure he could rack off maybe like 3 more title defenses before it's all said and done. The problem in that division for him is Magomed Ankalaev. But Ankalaev has to get through Rakic, which is no fucking easy task. Rakic is now going to be more active. It's not a 2-year or a 1.5-year layoff like how he fought Yuri Prochazka. And given the fact that he was really winning that fight until Yuri just became undead and killed him, I don't know. But Rakic is really good. That's a very tough fight for Ankalaev, and if he gets through that, then he has to be fighting Pereira next, right? But going back to this whole GOAT conversation, I don't think he came into this sport to be the GOAT. I think he came for money. I think he came because Adesanya invited him, unfortunately. And he has made his money. He's going to continue making money. He said he's going to take some time off, but I think that we just have to respect what he's been doing. I think don't talk about the GOAT conversations. Don't diminish everything he's doing by trying to put him in that status, because people are just going to shoot him down. People are going to say, oh, John Jones did all this, and you're not going to have an argument. Anderson did this, 10 title defenses, you're not going to have an argument. Demetrius Johnson, GSP, it's hard to put him in that GOAT conversation. Now, what he's done finishing people, the mystic stoicism from Poatan, his chama, his stare downs, his arrow celebration, like, man, everything that he does has gotten everyone on their feet. And this is why activity is so important, because it keeps you in front of the casual audience's eyes back to back. 3 fights in 7 months is ridiculous. He's gained so much popularity from it, and I think the question here isn't really if he's the greatest of all time, it's really how long will he reign. And talking about that poses a very interesting question, because he's taking time off. He's already said it. He's going to heal up his injuries. At 37, that takes a little while. So the Ankalaev and Rakic fight's going to be done by then. Ankalaev actually fights at UFC 308, which is the next card next month on the Max and Ilya card. We got to talk about that. But he's going to take a few months off, and then they're not going to be fighting. I think he doesn't fight until after March. March is going to be around Ramadan time, so Ankalaev isn't going to be fighting there. I say next summer is probably the time where they're going to fight again. Unless he wants to hop on like a February card. Potan's fucking crazy, man. Who knows how fast he heals. I think February, if it's not February, it's probably going to be next summer. Around like July, August, something like that. In the midst of it, Ankalaev is probably going to be the next one to fight Alex Pereira, given the fact that he beats Alexander Rakic. People have been talking about him moving up to heavyweight. People have been talking about him moving down to middleweight to fight Duplessis. I don't think he should do either of those. I'm against the grain when it comes to that. I think he gives up too much at middleweight, cutting all that weight. I mean, to be honest, he's still Alex Pereira, but he's not going to be able to take the shots he took against Rountree at middleweight. It's just not going to happen. Cutting 50 pounds. It's ridiculous. I think he gives up too much at middleweight, and that it diminishes him. Do I still think he could go out and beat Duplessis? It'll be a very good fight. At heavyweight, he also gives up too much, considering that the people he's gonna fight have been grappling just longer than him. Tom Aspinall started grappling when he was 4. He's a black belt. He's the biggest mystery. He also has good boxing, good Muay Thai, very fast, and a natural heavyweight. Like, it's just not a good matchup. Jon Jones, wrestling his whole life. We know who Jon Jones is. Like, that's not a good matchup. I just think light heavyweight is the perfect division for him. He probably does want to claim that third division or that third belt, but given the fact that it's going to be some time before he even gets it, I don't think he fights Jon Jones next. Tom Aspinall is going to be the next person to fight Jon Jones after Stipe. And considering the fact that Pereira, again, is going to take time off, Aspinall wants that winner. I think maybe Alex Pereira is the only person who can take that fight from Jon Jones and maybe fight Tom Aspinall next, but I think that's even a worse matchup than Alex Pereira fighting Jon Jones. So I think that Pereira is going to stay in his division, and that the toughest fight outside of anyone in any other division is going to be Magomed Ankalaev. That winner of that fight is going to be his toughest matchup, because Rakic mixes it up well. He has good striking, he has good grappling. He's not afraid to grapple. He's not going to say, I'm going to sit here and strike with you, even though that's what Magomed's saying. He's not going to actually do that. He's going to shoot takedowns and try and take you down. And if he can get out of those situations, and if he can beat the winner of Magomed and Rakic, bro, who else is there? Carlos Ulberg? I mean, who else is there? I think that if Alex Pereira's reign doesn't end by the summer of next year, maybe he will be in that GOAT conversation. What do you guys think? However, man, UFC 307 was a banger of a card, man. We had a lot of good fights on the card. Kayla Harrison fought a very tough fighter in Kellen Vieira. I thought it was going to be a tough fight. She made it through. She had a big old welt on her head. She showed that she could persevere and that the weight cut wasn't too bad for her, considering she can go all 3 rounds at a good pace and take damage in the meantime and not be knocked out. That was good on her. And also to out-grapple a black belt the way she did in Kellen Vieira was also really good. I think that her and Pena are probably going to be next. Pena had a very close fight with Raquel Pennington. Shout out Raquel Pennington, because that was the most exciting fight I've ever seen her in. And I was underrating her going to this one. I think that she put her best foot forward. I think she arguably won that fight, to be honest. I still haven't went back and watched that first round, because that's the one it came down to, right? But I remember thinking that this is a close first round. Let's see how the next ones go. And Juliana Pena, she ended up pulling it off, getting dropped, getting hurt multiple times. I think if it was scored as a whole, which I think MMA fights should be, that Pennington probably would have won that, but it went to Juliana Pena. She completely disregarded Kayla Harrison and said she wanted Amanda Nunes. I don't think Nunes is coming out of retirement unless Pena fights Kayla Harrison. I think if they fight, Nunes might come out of retirement to go and fight the winner. That would be the biggest women's fight in history, I would say. And that's also the one I'd be most excited for. I'd still be excited to watch Pena versus Nunes. I just don't think it's going to happen. I'd be excited to watch Kayla versus Nunes. I think that Nunes probably wants her to get one more, though, over a girl like Juliana Pena before coming back, because she's not going to come back for not a belt, right? She wants to come back, get her strap back, and probably solidify everything. Hopefully she's still training. As far as Mario Batista and Jose Aldo, I've seen people saying that they need to change the rules or the ref needs to step in there more. Bro, at the end of the day, it's a fight, man. I don't think people should be able to grab the cage, but I think that, man, if there's going to be a cage or a barrier blocking you in there, you should be able to use it how you see fit. I mean, pressing someone up against the wall, taking them down to nullify anything that they're able to do. I think that it works. If you're not going to expend the energy to try and get off the cage, it works. Now, if Aldo would have landed more damaging shots after getting off the cage, or even while being on the cage, I think that the judges would have saw it more in his way. However, just looking at the fact that Aldo lost the exact same way to not only Merab Dvalishvili, but going back to his featherweight fight with Alexander Volkanovski, he lost the same way in all 3 of those fights. He has to expend that energy to get off the cage. I know he has dense muscles. I know he's gonna fatigue. I know it was at altitude, but that's 3 times, and he game planned to beat you in that exact way. Something has to change. Something has to change, right? And it's tough because Aldo's coming back. He's a legend. I love him. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. But hey, people are getting smart, man. Mario Batista is very smart, along with his teammate Kyler Phillips. They're both coming up in this bantamweight division, both teammates of Sean O'Malley. Man, and they're both on like 6 to 8 fight win streaks. They're the next top contenders. So those people are both something to watch out for. Dana wasn't too happy with the performance. He's gonna have to wash that bad taste out of Dana's mouth with his next one. But I think it was a smart approach to fighting a guy like Jose Aldo, who has amazing takedown defense, crazy boxing, his kicks hurt like shit. I mean, good jiu-jitsu. There's not many places you really want to fight him. So using the cage to fight him smart, sometimes that's just the way it has to go, right? Now look at what Alexander Volkanovski's doing. Now look at Merab, he has the belt. Mario Batista might be the next one up. And then we had the Joaquin Buckley versus Stephen Thompson. Wow, very close first 2 rounds. I think Buckley's pressure was just wearing on him the whole time until he was finally able to cut him off with one of those hooks as Stephen Thompson was trying to circle out, and just the power that he has in his hands. Given the fact that this man Buckley's like 5'6", he was fighting middleweights, that's just ridiculous. And you can only imagine how dense his muscles and bones are. Like, that man is a problem at welterweight. This is his weight class. This is where he was supposed to be the whole time. He was fighting bigger people, kind of like Kevin Holland. This is where he was supposed to be. He has good grappling. He seems like he knows what he's doing. He's in charge of his own camp. Switches coaches out as he sees fit, which I don't know if how that works long term and if he could become champion doing that, but that's what he's doing right now. And I think the way he's mixing in the grappling and was able to knock out Stephen Thompson, that's a big exclamation point. And I wouldn't be surprised if he got a big fight, like a top 5 fight next. However, him and Kevin Holland squashed their beef after Kevin Holland hurt his rib in the Delize fight. Very anticlimactic. Man, Delize's last like 3 fights have all been so anticlimactic. I feel bad for him almost, because you got the win, but nobody really gives you credit for it because Holland hurt his rib. People calling Holland a pussy, y'all are just stupid because y'all don't know what that feels like to have a rib torn off of the bone, and then the recovery process is going to be brutal because you can't do surgery, you can't put a cast on it, you can't move around at all. You literally just have to rest and let it heal, and oftentimes rib injuries are reoccurring, so that fucking sucks. And all Kevin Holland likes to do is fight and train, smoke a little bit of weed, but fight and train. So that's gonna be tough, a tough recovery for Kevin Holland. Probably won't see him back in here for a while, but he's a wild dude, so I'm sure before it's even healed up, he'll be back to training, back to fighting. And yeah, that was the card. As far as Dolize, like I said, he's not going to get the credit he really deserves, so he probably won't get too good of an opponent next. We'll see what happens. How would you guys rate this card, though? I'm rating it like a 7.8 out of 10. A lot of it goes to the fact that the Holland fight didn't really pan out. The Aldo Batista fight was pretty mid, so that really decreased it a lot for me. But the Pereira fight was amazing. Pennington and Pena was really good. Kayla Harrison didn't get a finish, but she got a hard-fought victory. I think those all just made the main card close to an 8. 7.88. What do you guys say? Let me know in the comments down below. Well, thank you guys for stopping by my video today. And also, yes, I know I said memberships are coming soon. They are coming soon. Let me know some breakdowns that you are going to want, style breakdowns. Merab Dvalishvili is on my list, but do y'all want to see him or Alex Pereira's style first? Let me know. I'm going to break that down. I'm going to put it on the membership channel. I'm going to allow all you guys who want the access to that, help you guys implement it into your game, or if you're just wanting to study it for fun, then y'all will have all the rights to do that. And also let me know what else I should add into the membership section of this channel that'd be worth paying a couple extra dollars for. But with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Sorry for missing so much time, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.